Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Stony the road we trod, bitter the chastening rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died, yet with a steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our Father sighed. We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered. Out from the gloomy past till now we stand at last, where with the bright gleam of our bright star is past. God of our weary years, God of our silent tears, Thou who hast brought us thus far on the way, Thou who hast by Thy might led us into the light, keep us forever in the path, we pray, and lest our feet stray from the places, our God, where we met Thee, lest our hearts, drunk with the wine of the world, we forget Thee. Shadowed beneath Thine hand, may we forever stand, true to our God, true to our native land. Thank you.
Can we give Lawrence a big round of applause? So my name is Andrea Jenkins, and what an honor it is to be standing at this podium to celebrate Black history. And a lot of people all around the country have lifted me up as making Black history. And let me tell you, it is a very, very weird place to be, because my approach to this work is I just get up every morning and go to work, right? It's not about making history, it's not about being in the newspaper, it's about serving our community. And I want to share a couple of poems with you guys, and as you know, I am a poet, and I write a lot of original poetry, but I think the job of a poet is to lift up other poets sometimes as well. And so I'm going to lift up two amazing black women poets. And the first poem by Lucille Clifton is called "Won't You Celebrate with Me?" Won't you celebrate with me what I have shaped into a kind of life? I had no model. Born in Babylon, both non-white and woman. What did I see to be except myself? I made it up here on this bridge between starshine and clay. My one hand holding tight my other hand. Come celebrate with me that every day something has tried to kill me and it has failed. Lucille Clifton. The next poem, many of you may be familiar with, and it was a poem for Barack Obama's presidential inauguration. It was written by a woman who, and actually I selected these poems because I have met both of these amazing poets. And Elizabeth Alexander wrote a praise song for the day. Each day we go about our business, walking past each other, catching each other's eyes or not, about to speak or speaking. All about us is noise. All about us is noise and bramble, thorn and din, each one of our ancestors on our tongues. Someone is stitching up a hymn, darning a hole in a uniform, patching a tire, repairing the things in need of repair. Someone is trying to make music somewhere with a pair of wooden spoons on an oil drum, with a cello, a boombox, harmonica, voice. A woman and her son wait for the bus. A farmer considers the changing sky. A teacher says, "Take out your pencils, begin." We encounter each other in words, words spiny or smooth, whispered or declaimed, words to consider, reconsider. We cross dirt roads and highways that mark the will of someone and then others who said, "I need to see what's on the other side. I know there is something better down the road." We need to find a place where we are safe. We walk into that which we cannot see. Say it plain that many have died for this day. Sing the names of the dead who brought us here, who laid the train tracks, raised the bridges, picked the cotton and the lettuce, built brick by brick the glittering edifices that they would then keep clean and work inside of. Praise song for the struggle. Praise song for the day. Praise song for every hand-lettered sign, the figuring it out at kitchen tables. Some live by love thy neighbor as thyself. Others by first do no harm or take no more than you need. What if the mightiest word is love. Love beyond marital, filial, national. Love that casts a widening pool of light. Love with no need to preempt grievance. In today's sharp sparkle, this winter air, anything can be made, any sentence begun. On the brink, on the brim, on the cusp. Praise song for walking forward in that light. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody. You have just been honored with a performance of Lift Every Voice and Sing by Pastor Lawrence Miles. Lift Every Voice and Sing, as many of you know, is referred to as the Black National Anthem. And the song is a poem written by James Weldon Johnson, set to music by his brother, John Rosamond Johnson. And in 1919, the NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, dubbed Lift Every Voice and Sing the Black National Anthem because it spoke to the power of liberation and affirmation for Black people. Pastor Lawrence is a musician. He was a musician in the womb. His father, Lawrence Sr., was a celebrated trumpet player that a lot of people in the Twin Cities got to hear. His mother, Melanie, was a friend of mine, and we worked together for many years at the State Human Rights Department, who also had a beautiful, beautiful singing voice, and probably one of the sweetest souls that I have ever had the gift and treasure of being around. So I want to thank you, Lawrence, for that selection, and we'll be hearing more from Lawrence throughout the program today. Council Vice President Andrea Jenkins, she may and is, I think, humbled by the profile that she has gained in her lifetime, but I can assure you it is earned. She is a gift to us here in Minneapolis, in the state of Minnesota. She is a national treasure, and we are blessed, immensely blessed, by your presence here today. And thank you for your two selections from Lucille Clifton and also from Elizabeth Alexander. Thank you very much. My name is Velma Korbel. I'm the director in the Minneapolis Department of Civil Rights. I'm also the executive sponsor for the Minneapolis Black Employee Network. And I'd like to welcome you for braving the weather or the skyway or the tunnel to get over here for the first of 4 events we're celebrating, observing Black History Month throughout February. So every Thursday this month from 12 to 1, please join us either here in the Rotunda starting today and the next 2 Thursdays, and then on February 28th, we'll be over at the Hennepin County Government Center for our final event. There are flyers at the back table that list all of the events, and so we certainly welcome you and hope you will join us. Our theme this year for Black History Month is celebrating history, honoring tradition, and uplifting community. And I would suspect that when the father of Black history celebrations, Carter Woodson, thought about this back in the 1960s, the 1920s, he probably had at the forefront of his mind that there ought to be a celebration. Back then it was a week, now it's extended to a month. But if you like me, I say Black history is American history, and it happens all year long. But I bet he was talking about a way to uplift, celebrate, recognize, and honor the rich culture and contributions of Black people. And we're going to continue that tradition today because I would like you to help me welcome to the stage Ms. Zulu. Ms. Zulu is representing the Black Storytellers Alliance today. And the Black Storytellers Alliance is a local nonprofit that is here in the U.S., but also in Canada, and it recognizes the power of oral tradition in the African and African-American community. Their mission is to maintain the art of storytelling as a primary source for the positive instruction and reinforcement of the rich beauty embodied in the telling of the story. And you know, as Black folks, we are storytellers. We had to be storytellers because our history would not have survived had we not been storytellers. And so I'd like to welcome Ms. Zulu to the stage. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for the invitation. And I agree that our history is 365 days of the year. As a storyteller, it is our job to share our stories of our trials, struggles, and accomplishments. So today, I want to share a story about a woman named Zora Neale Hurston. I love the woman because of how she was. You see, she was raised in Eatonville, Florida. Eatonville happened to be an all-Black incorporated town. That means that everything that was done by Black folk. And so it was that growing up in that situation, she, felt good about herself. And her mama also encouraged her to be creative, to be a little bit different. Her dad didn't like it, neither did her dad's mom. They called her a little bit sassy because what she would do is, because she knew that there was a bigger world out there, she would sit on like the gate. You all have no idea what a gate is, but anyhow, the old-fashioned gates, a wooden gate, big old thing that you had to open and shut in order for cars to come through down the lane. And she loved to sit on those gates and watch the people drive by. And sometimes the people would stop and ask her questions. And of course, if she could answer the question, she answered the question. She might even ask them something. But that's the way she was. Now, she didn't get to stay at home too long because her mother wasn't very strong, and her mother had also been kind of left alone by her folks because her mother married somebody that her folks didn't like. They just didn't, you know how that is. We got it in a lot of families. Honey, why you marrying him? He ain't no good. And so it was sort of like that. And so her mother was, kind of away from her family. And her mother was weaker. She wasn't strong physically. And so she died an early death. But before she died, she told her daughter, Zora, she said, look, don't let these folks do all of those crazy things and superstitious things they do. Covering up the mirror, turning the bed. Don't let them do that to me. I don't believe in that. But she was only a child. And so when the mother died and she tried to make sure the missionaries did not do those things, they just poo-pooed her. Oh, she's just a child. She don't know what she's talking about. And so she couldn't do it. It hurt her that she was unable to do what her mother wanted. And then not too long after that now, her daddy got married again to a younger woman, close to Zora's age. And Zora didn't appreciate it. And Zora was sassy to that woman. And sometimes they'd have arguments. And one day, the argument turned into a fight. And Zora fought the woman. Well, her daddy said, you ain't staying here no longer. I'm going to send you with your oldest brother down there in Tallahassee. Because I'm not going to have you fighting my wife. And she didn't care. She wanted to be gone anyway because it wasn't her mother. Now, she got to Tallahassee, and come to find out, when she went to school there, she found out that there was supposed to be something wrong with her because of the color of her skin. She said, what? Huh? What? Oh, you don't like me because of the color of my skin? That's too bad. You missing out. Because I love me. Even when I look ugly, I love me. And that's the way she was. She loved herself. She loved black people. She especially loved the stories that were told on Joe Clark's porch when she was a youngster. She loved the way that black people spoke, not the highfalutin King's English, but that down-home family type of English, where you don't always cross the T or dot the I, where you make up your own, contractions. Like my daddy used to say, I'm going to town. Now, I knew what he meant. He meant he was going to town, but it sure sounded much better and different, even kind of sweet. I'm going to town. That's the way we do things in the African American community. And you know that others enjoy what we do with our language because you have heard it repeated by others. So every time you hear that, you just know, see, there it is. They love how we speak. And you don't have to worry about it. The King's English is the King's English. And so Zora wanted to write. She got to go to college. She got to, study as an anthropologist. But she was going to go back home and collect some of the stories, Well, you know how it is with some of us sometimes. We had a little education. We go back home. The other folks not very educated, or maybe they haven't had that much education. And so we just get real proper on them. So she came back talking about, yes, I have come back to collect these stories that I heard when I was growing up. Tell me a story. Well, of course, everybody looked at her like she was kind of crazy. They loved her, but that's not the way you do it. And so she didn't get much of anything. She went back to the professor and she said, well, I couldn't get very many stories. And she told him how she had done it. He said, wait a minute, Zora. You got to go back and live amongst the folk. Let them get to know you again. Hang out with them. And as you hang out with them, you'll get to hear the stories. Now, when she went back, she found out about tow parties. Anybody ever heard about a tow party? Young ladies, let me tell you, you should have a tow party. A tow party is where the young eligible women stand behind a curtain. And you all know you go and get those pedicures. Back then they didn't have them. So they were just shined up real good with some lard. Anyway, you stand back behind that curtain and you put your foot without your shoe out. That's all that will be showing. And the eligible young men will come along and choose a toe. And then you would sit down with the young man and you would have some cake and chicken and Kool-Aid. That would be your first date of courting. Because back in the day, that's what they called it. Well, anyway, Sora ended up in New York, in Harlem. She won a contest. She was second, actually. She didn't realize, it wasn't that she didn't realize. She just thought, I don't know why I'm second, not first. But it was the Urban League, and they knew that there were lots of artists in Harlem, and so they would have contests so that they could give them a little extra money. It was a way to kind of support them. So she was second. Langston Hughes was first. So when they called her name, knowing that she should be number one, she stood up to her fullest height. She strode towards the front. She had a scarf on. They say she took the scarf and she just kind of flung it over her shoulder like that. And as she walked along, she said, "Color Struck," which was the play that she had written in competition with Langston's poems. Anyway, she and Langston met, and they did some work together. Excuse me. They did some work together. There's a play called Mulebone that was never, ever produced. That was what they worked on together. And it never was produced because as Sora and Langston worked on this, there was a lady who was doing the transcribing. And Langston wanted all of the proceeds to be split 3 equal ways between him, Sora, and the lady who was transcribing. Now, Sora appreciated the fact that this lady was transcribing, and she wanted her to have something, but she didn't believe that she needed an equal amount. So she and Langston argued. And when Langston said, "No, we're going to share it 3 ways, equally," she said, "Later for you. I'm not doing it anymore." And that play was not produced. One last thing about Sora. She got in trouble with the NAACP when we went for integration. She said the way it's set up, it's like there's something wrong with us. And I don't agree. That is why I love Zora Neale Hurston.
I want to sing a song. It's called You Raise Me Up. And I know that we all stand on the shoulders of someone who's come before us. And because of them, we are here today. When I am down and oh, my soul so weary, when troubles come and my heart's burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. There is no life without its hunger. Each restless heart beats so imperfectly. But when you come and I am filled with wonder, sometimes I think I glimpse eternity. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. And I am strong when I am on your shoulder. You raise me up to more than I can be. When I am down and oh, my soul so weary, when trouble comes and my heart burdened be, then I am still and wait here in the silence until you come and sit a while with me. You raise me up so I can stand on mountains. You raise me up to walk on stormy seas. And I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. And I am strong when I am on your shoulders. You raise me up to more than I can be. Thank you.
Will you please help me welcome Hennepin County Commissioner Angela Connolly? It was her desire. That's you. We just wanted to recognize you here today. It was her desire to collaborate that sparked us joining Hennepin County in the Black History Month celebration. So we just want to thank you.
Thank you so much.
Did you want to speak?
Yes.
Yes.
It's an honor to be here. It's an honor to represent the 4th District, and it's an honor to be a history-making elected official. The Hennepin County Board has never seen diversity. It's been 166 years. So on February 28th, I believe I will be speaking about what it's like to be the first black woman, black person ever to hold this position. So thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'd like to thank Pastor Miles for honoring us with your songs. I also like to offer the sincerest thank yous to Council Vice President Andrea Jenkins and to the Black Storytellers Alliance for honoring our stories with beauty, wisdom, and joy. Thank you to the members of the Event Planning Committee, from the Minneapolis Black Employee Network, from the Hennepin County Employees of Color, ERGs, and our Department of Civil Rights. Black history is Minneapolis history. Black history is American history. We invite you to join us each Thursday this month from 12 to 1 p.m. here in the Rotunda. February 14th, we will have a few steppers from the Twin Cities, and a council resolution that will occur on February 15th during the regular city council meeting. February 21st is the History Makers, also here in the Rotunda, and on the 28th, the New Faces of Leadership will take place at the Government Center. Thank you again for joining us today, for braving the weather, and please enjoy some refreshments. We have popcorn, cookies, and water. Enjoy your day.